Ooh. Alright. Oh man. It feels good to be back. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a minute or so. Alright. Welcome, guys, to our second week of RGL playoffs. I believe this is the second week. I lost track. I don't know my times anymore. We have a thriller, if you will. 77th, guided by the Colonel Ed, followed with his companions of Toaster Coaster Crazy Lavach, Dumbbell Shakwisha Whale King. A very, very interesting lineup, but I actually believe that this lineup has crazy amounts of potential. Ahmed, thank you for following. I think this team, the 77th team, is very fantastic in terms of like these players, because I have very high hopes for them to succeed, and they've showed success in the past. But they're going to go against the 2BRR. For those who are in the uninitiated, this was a team that was formed basically an hour or two before their first match, consisting of 2B B teamers and TRR B teamers. I don't know. I had no idea how I wasn't following at this point. Well, now you are. This team consists of B teamers from 2 regiments, 2 unlikely sources, which during the regular season managed to win 3 games and lose 1. B teamers against some A-list players on some A-based teams, and they won. Now, this is the first set of playoffs yet. Did they lose yet? Skull have faith. God damn, bro. This is the greatest team to ever grace this earth. This is the greatest team of all time. Besides that, I fundamentally believe that the 2BRR are going to win this match. I think their teamwork, their cohesion, some aspects of their line play can be questionable, but I have a feeling that the 2BRR, with the power of friendship, are going to take this game. My prediction, of course, is going to be 15-12 to the 2BRR. Now, that's my personal opinion. I just have high hopes. I believe in this team. I want them to succeed more than anyone else besides the team themselves. I believe in No Glow. I believe in Galaga. They're actually decent players. Drum, a Bannerlord player, has been showing very fast improvement. But not just that, they also got Huddy available. They also have Mitch Dog Swag, who has some lows but very high highs. And Funky Pharaoh, the beast himself, the legend, the goat, the 9-year-old of truth. He's also blessing us tonight. Now, I actually don't know who our ref is tonight, but As a friendly reminder, thank you to all the refs who participate in this league. Without you, this league wouldn't be ran. And thank you for your voluntary effort and your time and ensuring that Holdfast remains competitive. Thank you to those who do ref. They're just doing warm-ups real fast. Auto live is in 2 minutes. So a lot of these players are trying to iron out some kinks, their blocks, their stabbing, all waiting for that 2-minute mark. At it's Zoft. Who is live? Who is Zoft? Is Ed Zoft? Ed is like the Zoft of like the Jays, you know? Ed is the Zoft of Jay. If you catch my drift. Now, one important aspect before this match starts, I'm going to point this out. The winner of this match will advance. I believe, not entirely certain the next people that they go against. Off the top of my head, I believe they go against 2BIR, which is the original A team of this tournament, or the 2B nation. Now, that would be a once in a lifetime experience for this type of league. Now, the 2BRR as a team wasn't even supposed to be made, but it's desperate times call for desperate measures, and they decided to just let the team exist, and they are succeeding. But we're going to have to see how they're going to fare against the 77th. I believe, I have not looked at challenge, but I should, that the winner of this team, of whoever wins tonight, will be going against the 2BIR, which is going to be a very fascinating match to watch, as they did recently get upset by the 45E. I'll try my best to be able to cast that match as well. Of course, we're going to start the game off on a... People are trying to get their players in. I'm assuming they're going to be doing 10v10. 2BRR 15-0 incoming is crazy. I think the 77th will pull some rounds. I think they have way too many star-studded players to not pull rounds just from them alone. Last player spawns in. Colossus goes the wrong uniform. I guarantee Ed is screaming at him, and he will never show up to another group fight again. Besides that, from left to right to left on the 2BRR front, Lob, Drum, and Monsor running the flank. We got Mr. Steal Your Dad, Note Glow, Ree running our mid here for the 2BRR. And then we have Dalbow, Huddy, and Marty running the next flank on the left. 77th got Toaster Coaster, Crazy, Shaquisha running a flank, and AFK Whale King, oh no, in the mid. Colossus, Dumbbell running the mid is in addition. And then we have the left flank, Lavach, Dr. Wenko, and Edward. A lot of aggression here. Great pick, Lavach, first pick onto Mansoor. They slowly clean out. Colossus with a great first kill. This 2BRR, they do slightly win the right though, but the 77 are way up in numbers. 3v2. Colossus is up. He's a very relatively new player, but Ed and Wenko do have some experience under their belts. Huddy with the lunge. Oh, Dalbow with the kill onto Colossus. TKs across the board. Not even TKs. Trades. Huddy last remaining. First round to 2BRR. If 2BRR wins, can you strip down naked and shake ass on cam? Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it. Butt ass. I'll be butt ass naked. Just for you. Just for you. Of course, 2BRR do take the first of many rounds. It was a very little bit of a weird regroup situation. The 77th sweep their left flank, but the right didn't really have anything going for it. Some trades occurred, and ultimately they were down. Good one, Turkey. You have R6 in your name. God bless your soul. Ed with the early aggression. Huddy first pick onto Toaster. Drum picked onto Ed. Lavach with the answer back. Some clinging across the board. Some trades. Wings gets 2 kills. The 77 do slightly win the right mid and the left win mid. They just got to regroup here. Get the last set. They win the left. 2BRR do win the right, but they lose some casualties. It's a 5v2.
Killing spree.
Huddy with the first kill, but Daobao picked off TK from Wings, but he gets an eventual kill to tie it up 1-all. A fantastic answer back from the 77th, despite being 2 down straight off the rip. Toaster getting killed, as well as Ed getting killed. Didn't matter. Wings 24 stepped up to the plate, got it done. If 2BRR wins, who thinks their 2B members will throw versus the 2BIR in that match? I'd be really disappointed if they threw their match. But at the same time, wouldn't it be funny if the 2BIR threw their match against the 2BRR? Like, I want to see them in losers finals. And that would be peak cinema. Ed is doing some stretching right here on the left. Let's look at this right flank. 2BRR seem to be winning this a little bit easily. Up, down, onto Marty for the first kill. Crazy gets traded out. Daobao, 3 stabs, no blocks. He immediately wins the right flank for them. An incorrect block from Colossus, and the rest are going to fall apart. The 77th couldn't win the left at all, basically. Ed is the last remaining, but he gets up, down 2-1. 2BRR, we're getting some trade rounds. Some back and forths, if you will. Of course, a beautiful showing from the 2BRR that round. Now, 77 did have a good up down, but they did not get the blocks in like straight after their little engagement. Daobao just stabbed 3 times, got 3 kills. You know, they got to lock in with these blocking here, because ultimately, star talent wise, the 77 do look better on paper. But we're going to have to see how this next round plays out. Ed with the early stretch on here on the left. Meanwhile, the right flank on the 77, they do kite this a bit. Drum, immediate first pick onto Lavach. Wings with the trade back, but it's bleeding everywhere. Up downs all across the board. All from the 2BRR. They're sweeping the rest of the 77th here. All they have is these small gaps of resistance. Good pick in the 1v2 Ed, but he's getting held. The rest of the 2BRR show out. And he gets backstabbed 3-1. Now the 2BRR here, they look dominant. They are not just winning by 1 or 2 people. They're winning by margins. 77 here, they got to change something up here. Of course, they do have not the strongest players available in their arsenal, but their top-end talent will surely have to make up for it. Meanwhile, the 2BRR here are more so a cohesive unit. The team is at its greatest with the sum of its own parts. It is not great because of the individuals present on it. And I think the 77th are not ready for this type of matchup when it comes to this. But we still have plenty of game to go. We're going to see how this goes. Marty with the early stretch and early aggression here. Goes for a stab. Ed chambers in against it. Toaster Coaster, immediate first pick onto Marty. Crazy with the bad TK, but it doesn't matter. Rock Squire runs it down the mid. He's just getting backstabs. Beautiful. The 77 are way up. They just got to finish these pockets of resistance with some up downs. 4v1 clear. This 2v1 clear. Last one is in a 1v1 with Ed. Ed gets the gamble. It is 2-3. A beautiful played round from the right flank on the 77th. Got the first initial picks. Despite the TK, Rock Squire was able to see the gap, run it down through the mid. Beautifully played. It is now 2-3. Taobao sniffs crayons for fun. Bro, he's 9-4. He's doing great. It's not like he's in the military. It's the crayons like steroids. Yeah, you know what? You're a visionary. Maybe a prophet too. Oh no! Good trade back from Ed. Ed successfully wins the left. Meanwhile, the 77 do win the right connector and basically everywhere else. Now it is a 8v1. Funky with the pick, but Dr. Wenko with the stab. It is now 3-all. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. Skull, you need to be nicer to people. You know, kindness, it's contagious, man. When you're nice to people, they're going to be nice to you back. Everyone knows this. Of course, from the 2BRR, Watermelon does get some playtime playing right next to Funky and Ree for the TRR B team. Funky is 3-3 and Ree is 2-4. Not the best scenario, but one that is workable. Ed with the early stretching here, but they also start kiting the right. They're a little bit more of a cohesive unit. Ed with the target swap. Oh, failed the up-down. Welkin gets his pick. Dr. Wenko gets his pick, but the 2BRR are way up. The 77 just got to finish these pockets of resistance, though. They kind of threw it away there, the 2B. The 77 just had a way better regroup and less TKs. No Glow is the last one remaining. Gets easily up-downed thanks to Ed. Now, the 77th have the lead for the first time since round 1. Now, 2BRR, they just got to work out some of the kinks. Now, this Ed flank is doing numbers. They're doing fantastic so far. The other flank from the 77th, although very slow beginnings, immediately started turning it back up the pace. Marty feels like he's getting disabled. And same with Huddy. So we're going to have to see how these players continue to play. But ultimately, the 77th here, they're going to definitely try to get their momentum up and running. Ed, early aggression with these lunges. And he gets the pick off of it. Lob is down. The 77th, they just got to run it down on the left. And they do. They get their picks left. Oh, with the bad TK. It doesn't matter, though, because they win the rest of the left. The 2BRR do win the right, though. It is only 4v2. 3v2, because Crazy got backstabbed.
Dominated.
Ed, beautiful pick onto Huddy. And Wings with the beautiful answer onto Marty, making it 5-3 to the 77th. A beautifully played round there from the 77th, of course. Now, if I was the 2BRR in this situation, I think ultimately this drum and lob flank, it could be an improvement. KD wise, lob is 3-7, drum is 4-7. They are basically getting handicapped here. Meanwhile, the other flank is not achieving much either, with the exception of Huddy. And they actually fully answered it. They swapped the ones. Marty is now going against Ed, and he's going to match this stretch. Will kite a bit, Marty with the initial swap, but he fails. Lavage took full advantage of him. The 77th are way up right here on the left. The 2BRR do get some picks in the mid. They just got to regroup right here, but they might get backstabbed. They went into that horribly. Really bad there. The Crazy gets an initials pick, and Dumbbell gets the last. It is now 6-3. That was really bad for the 2BRR there. A lot of miscommunication throughout it. The line play portion of it was very bad, and they went into really useless battles and got picked off one by one until there was none remaining. The 77th, on the other hand, got a very, very nice couple picks on their left connector, which seems to be their strongest point. Of course, the right and mid are doing pretty well, but the left here is probably going to be their strongest flank to watch out for. We're going to see how this next round goes. Now, Marty's whole objective here is to go for the swap or go for the lunge. And he's baiting Ed in. Rock Squire, first pick onto Ree. That's onto the right. Oh no, but the 77th barely win the right flank. It's now a duel. Doesn't matter because the 77th win the rest of the mid and the left. There's just small pockets of resistance. Mansoor gets backstabbed. Crazy in a 1v1 with Lob. Oh, the gamble was unsuccessful. It's a 2v5, but they are on the corner. Dumbbell Ed, Wank of Wings, and Colossus versus Lob and Funky. A matchup to be seen. Wings with the first lunge. Kills Colossus, but Funky gets singled out. Lob gets backstabbed by Ed, making it 7-3. And I agree on it. If I was the 2BRR here, I'm calling a TO, and they do call the TO. They're down 4 rounds. After having the early lead 3-1, the 2BRR summon Daniel E onto the field. They will be dropping a player. Now, this pickup here for Daniel E is a very good pickup. He's shown before that he had some decent qualities, especially in connector. And I believe he can get some momentum building against some of the weaker players on this 77th lineup. Now, that being said, 77th are still up by 4. And one of the major contentions of the reason why the 77th are winning this much is primarily from the flank and one of the connectors. Now, we're going to see how this addition with Daniel is going to assist with this. We may never know. And he gets dropped. So he isn't going to be playing for this round. So we're going to have to see how this round is going to play out. Of course, next round we'll probably end up seeing Daniel E. But we're going to wait and see. Fortunately, or unfortunately, there seems to be no lineup changes as far as I'm aware. Believe this is the same sort of standard line. Of course, the 77th don't need to change anything. Ed with the early lunges here. He's putting a lot of pressure onto Marty. Marty does know how to deal with this type of pressure, but we're going to wait and see how they execute it. Meanwhile, on the right, it is an inch back for the 77th, but the 2B go in. 77th get the first pick, but Well King TKs. The 2BRR are way up in the mid. They successfully won it. They also sweep the rest of the other flank with Ed, and they get the straight step onto Crazy. It's 7-4. A very much needed timeout conversion there. Now, 77th did have an early dive, and although the pick was successful, the eventual TK and the lack of line structure let the 2BRR do its little thing and sweep the mid. And not just sweep the mid, but they were able to manage to sweep the rest of both flanks at the same time. Beautifully played from them. Now, it appears that Daniel E will not be playing this round as well. So God knows where he's going to be. But if the 2BRR continue to play this way it may not even matter. And early aggression here. He's actually within distance. He's just endlessly feigning. Swap successful onto Drum. Oh, but the 77 don't answer, but it doesn't matter. Ed gets the immediate backstab. 2BRR do win the right, though, but the 77 hard win their left and have numbers everywhere. Up, down, successful all across the board. There's only one left. It is Funky Pharaoh. Gets the pick onto Rock Squire. Is this the comeback? And a punch, and Dr. Wanko with the straight stab onto him, making it 8-4. Now, Ed, with the early aggression here on flank, basically set the precedent. Getting that swap onto Drum and then later saving his second with that backstab instantly guaranteed the 77's victory over the left. Meanwhile, the 2BRR on the left-hand side, they do get some successful picks in there, but because they were down initially and some trades were happening on the left, they were just way down for the rest of the 77 swarm. Now, this appears to be the Ed show. Ed is playing super hyper aggro. Toaster, immediate pick onto Lob. Crazy with the pick onto Daobao. They get their first picks. 2BRR do get a pick in mid, and they're trying to run it down. But they still get susceptible to trades. The 77 do lose the left, though. Ed is still remaining. He could definitely hold on to this. And he does. He gets the pick on a Watermelon. It's a 4v4. The 77 don't know how to regroup this. They leave Ed to dry. This might be the best call, though. 77 2B finally get the up down onto Ed. They're just chasing the last remaining soldier. Funky Pharaoh, Crazy Rockspire, and Toaster are all left. Crazy, beautiful gamble. 3v3. Drum, No Glow, Marty, all 2BIR members versus the Toaster, Rocksquire, and Crazy lineup. From their KDs alone, it's a very close 3v3 here. They're trying to fix their stabs. The 77 for scuttling around, but the 2B are making calculated movements here. They know that they could get the advantage very easily, but Crazy can go for really wacky stabs that can get very nice picks. Lunges here from Marty, running this little clockwork action. Lunge from Rockswire. Crazy goes in. Marty goes in for the lunge, but it doesn't matter. Rocksquire got baited into up down. Marty gets the excellent gamble. Noko let the last remaining 2BRR a much needed victory in a situation like that. 8-5. Now, that was greatly played from the 77th. Of course, I do fundamentally believe that they'll leave Ed in that 1v3 to go to defeat the 1 is a little bit of a weird call, but I think that was the right choice. So I can't really judge that much in terms of decision making, but at the same time, you know, Rocksquire unfortunately lunged too far in and immediately got punished for it. Now, the 77 are still doing the same strat. Marty almost got lunged there. Oh, the drag hit. So brutal, but it does not matter. 77 get the first 2 picks. Rockswire gets traded out. Huddy gets his pick on the right. So the 2BRR, they do win the right, but the 77 sweep the rest of the left. They are way up in numbers. It is now a 2v6. Lob and Huddy last remaining. They are extremely pressured. Huddy, beautiful pick onto Shikisha, but Ed gets the kill onto Lob. Dr. Wanko gets the kill onto Huddy. It's now 9-5. Beautifully played from the 77th, as always. Always seems to me that they always figure out a way to kind of get these coordinated up downs, as well as Ed's aggression is kind of building the tempo here on the left. His teammates are finally matching onto it, and if Ed's stab gets blocked, they could surely go in for the piston plunge. Meanwhile, the 2BRR, I mean, they are still showing some signs of success, at least in particular parts of the lineup, but the right is their weakest point. They are getting kind of singled out and picked out by Ed here, but I still have high hopes that they can still succeed as the 2BRR are actively winning the other flank every round or so. So we're going to see how this shows out. Early, some lunges are happening. Marty with the run, Drum with the run, but oh my god, he baited him on accident. Ed with the beautiful pick onto Mansoor, Crazy with the pick onto Huddy. There's some picks all across the board, but the 2BRR, they do win the right, the left though. And they're still up in this regroup. It's a 3v4. That being said, Ed, Welking, and Colossus, Ed can easily set something, and he does. He gets the pick onto Drum, but the blocks are not there. Colossus Welking picked off. It's now Lob and Ree versus Ed. Ed, who is a 9-year veteran of Holdfast, is now going against two players who just got the game probably last year. Now, Lob and Ree, there's a lot of pressure on these guys. Ultimately, they just got to get the block on the first stab and then get the up down. That's all they got to do. And Ed knows this. So Ed is trying to mess with them right here. All this movement, all this potential. He's going to wait and see if one of them throws a gamble. But they're super antsy right here. 2BRR know that this is their round to win. They just cannot fuck it up. Block successful. Ed gets in between them. Block on Lob as well, but the up down is failed. Ree gets backstabbed. It's now a 1v1. Ed, who has won numerous dueling tournaments in his time, is now going against Lob. Old gen v new gen. We're going to see who is successful here. As always, it is a duel. It's not going to be the most fascinating thing, but we're going to see how this fares out. Oh, Ed with the failed gamble, Lob with the pick. It is now 9-6. That's a very unfortunate gamble that Ed did not predict, or that very unfortunate gamble that got caught, rather. But at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, we're going to have to see if that round is going to truly matter. 77th almost had it, and leading into it, all that leading into a 1v1 is not what the 2BRR needs. They need to win decisively and not from these types of battles. But excellently played by Lob, under pressure, getting the easy pick onto Ed, an easy punish as well. Of course, next round is to be played. Now, Marty and Drum, they start signaling. Ed, oh no, almost got singled out. Huddy gets the immediate picks. Funky Daobao, they immediately sweep the left flank. And by extension, the 77 don't even really win the right. They just allow the regroup to happen. It's a 2v7. Ed gets singled out. Wings gets singled out. 2-round deficit. That was a beautifully played flank there from Toaster and Toaster and Crazy, getting those initial punishing plays, or not from Toaster and Crazy, apologies, from this flank, Lob Huddy Daobao, amazing work punishing Crazy and Toaster. My brain is getting shut off. Here is your scoreboard. Of course, Ed about to drop a 30 burger. Dumbbell 16-9, Wings is 15-8, Crazy is 16-11. On the 2BRR front, No Glow with the 16 bomb. Now they do a flank swap. First, I believe two. Marty first pick onto Crazy. Ed is still playing aggressive here on the right. Oh, but he gets the pick. The 77th, they do slowly win the left here. Oh, you got to play for some blocks, son. They got to regroup here on the right. Regroup. That guy is from Al-Qaeda. It doesn't matter, though. It is a 4v4. Lavage, Dumbbell, Wenko, Ed. versus Marty, Mr. Steal Your Dad, Mansoor, and No Glow.
Killing spree.
Oh, Marty, beautiful swap.
Dominating.
Lavach with the answer back, but No Glow gets the kill onto him. Dumbbell in the 1v2 scenario. Eddie's stuck in a 1v1. Oh, he didn't get the stab there. That's so unfortunate. Dumbbell stuck in a 1v1. Marty gets the kill onto Ed.
Unstoppable.
No Glow gets the pick onto Dumbbell. It is now 9-8. The 2BRR are mounting a comeback. They were down 4 rounds. They cut it to 1 round. If I'm the 77th, immediately take a TO after that round. And it's much deserved too. They are winning flank, at least one of them, but the other flank is clearly struggling way too much. But I believe that Ed here is going to at least help with a lot of the line play structure as well as the early winnings on these flank on his own flank. I think Crazy's whole job, Crazy and Toaster, should only be holding. They should not be aggressive. They should not go for garbage stabs. They should just be holding and waiting for the right flank to successfully win, which they have shown to be winning here on the 77th. That being said, the 2BRR just got to continue to just kind of hammer into their connector, as well as take advantage of brutal mishaps from the 77th, which they have shown great success with so far. This round is going to be a very heavy round. 77th must get a win off this conversion. 77th, they're kiting a little bit on the left, but they're holding on their own. Reed, first pick, 3 unanswered before Wenko gets a kill. This 2BRR sweep the mid. They also sweep the right as well. Everywhere, lost on the 77th. Crazy and Toaster are still up, though. It's a 2v5. It is actually still winnable. Crazy, why are you holding a block? All right, he goes for the stab there. Gets picked off. Watermelon TK's lob, but it doesn't matter. Mansoor gets the pick onto Toaster Coaster. We are now tied up. It is 9-9. 2BRR had made up 4 rounds so far and tied this game up 9 apiece. Now, scoreboard check. Since I made the comment about Ed almost dropping a 30 burger, he has only got 2 kills since. Wings has 18-10, Dumbbell is 17-11, Dr. Wenko a breakout at 19-12. Meanwhile, on the 2BRR front, No Glow is playing lights out, 22-14. Huddy is picking up the pace as well as Marty. After starting the game double negative, is now back to positive at 13-12. We're going to see how this next round plays out. Drum is playing super aggro here. We're going to have to see how this goes. Ed is not playing aggro here, and the 77 are kiting right here on the left. They might get singled out here. Colossus with the first pick, but Toaster and Colossus picked off. The 2BRR hard sweep the left. They win spectacularly, but the 77 aren't winning the right. They are barely holding on. Forced to TK here. Beautifully played from Wenko there, but it does not matter. They get picked off. The 2BRR finally take the lead. Since I believe it was round 5, it is now 9-10 or 10-9 to the 2BRR. Now, if I'm Ed, I'm changing this entire flank with all due respect. And they do a swap. A first 3. Now, we're going to see how this goes. But I believe that Ed being here, Ed needs to go against Marty because I think Ed knows how to take full advantage of it. The kiting here on the right from the 77th is basically all that is needed. Oh, bad. Beautiful pick onto Drum. But Wings does get picked out. Daobao also kills Rock Squire. 77th are going to get their line ran into. and they immediately lose the rest of the right flank. A bunch of 1v1s, but the 2BRR are way up. Beautiful pick, Ed, there. Oh, Shikwisha with the missed backstab. Toaster all alone in the 1v5 now to Colonel Ed. A beautifully played round from the 2BRR despite the first pick from Ed himself.
Killing spree.
Ed with the first pick onto Funky. They're all afraid. Holding as long as they can in terms of priority. The chamber, the TK, but Daobao finally gets the down stab, making it the never forget stat line. Now, 77 do have one last time out, but they are not going to use it. They kind of have to just figure it out during these intermission periods. And it is something that can happen. They kind of just have to kind of lock it in and make sure that they succeed. Because they can show signs of success, but ultimately, they got to prove it. Whale King, unfortunately, is at 7-18. Lavage, 9-14. Toaster is 11-15. Some of these players I expect more out of. And I think they kind of have to lock it in this second half here and now. Early kites coming in on the right. Early pushes coming in from the left. Drum might get singled out here, but the up-down will never occur. Good trade onto Drum. Dr. Wenko gets the pick onto Mansoor. The 77 hard sweep the left. The 2BRR do win portions of the right, but the 277 are way up in numbers. They finally get a much-needed victory, making it 10-11. They win this 6-round win streak from the 2BRR to kill their momentum temporarily. We're going to see how the 77 works this out. Now, this is a good round to have for the 77 here. They desperately needed this win more than anything. If they lost this round, who knows where the mental would have been. But with the first couple picks coming in from the left and the rest of the line followed suit and held their ground, it is a much, much needed victory that needed to happen. Now, the 2BRR are not fully running away here. The failed up-down coordination is fucking killing me. Wings gets picked off, but the 77 get 4 answer backs in the mid. They immediately sweep aside, which they will target the left momentarily, but they also win the right very hard. Ed with the last remaining kill onto Noklo. A beautifully played round from the 77th. They finally tied this game up back again. 11 apiece on both sides of the aisle. Now, the 77 finally got their momentum coming, and the 2BRR, they got to answer back to this. Now, they are going to do some swapping here. Namely, Marty Drum is going back onto the left. Huddy Law are going back onto the right. Now, ultimately, when it comes to these situations, we're going to have to see how this is going to unfold. Ed. Oh! Lub dicked him down, but it doesn't matter. Crazy Toaster, Shikwisha get their picks on right. They hard sweep the right. They just got to kite the left. Let the rest of the line play out. They're up in numbers, but they got to make this backstab call. It doesn't matter because they win that remaining pocket right there on the right. The last couple members are still left alive. The 2E didn't take advantage of some of those backstabs that they could have got. The 77 get their 3rd round in a row, 12-11. Now, the ball is now in 2B's court. They just won 6 in a row, and now they've lost 3 in a row. Now they did make a lineup change, and they did get a very nice pick onto Ed, but unfortunately a slip up occurred, and the 77th went full throttle onto their right, picked off their 1, 2, and 3. A very nicely played round from them from that flank, and a much needed victory for that flank as well. Ed did get singled out, but he is now 39 kills in with a 3.0 KD. We're going to have to see how these next couple rounds play out, and as far as how he's going to reserve that KD. Ed with the early aggression play here. Dumbbell Welking also playing aggressive here too. Funky gets the pick on a Whale King. Noko gets the pick on a Rockswire. The 77th mid fall. The 77th also lose the left because of that fallout. They lose the right. A very convincing victory from the 2BRR. They're making a 12 apiece. Again, this is that 2BRR magic. When their backs are against the wall, they shine. And that was a very much needed win from them. They Funky with the first pick, No Glow with the follow up, and they immediately destroyed their mid and followed up with that mid destruction by sweeping both flanks at the same time. Whale King is getting dropped. They're running 10v10 now. A very unfortunate showing for Whale King, but at these types of leagues, every man counts. And if your weakest link is not doing the hottest, it happens. He also could literally just be going somewhere and probably had to go to bed or go to work. But now we're running a 10v10 scenario. Now Ed is still trying to play aggro here, but is playing a little bit more to the line. Meanwhile, on the 2B front right here on the right, on their left-hand side for the 2B, they are playing a little bit more aggro. Ed does get the block in. Up, down from Dumbbell onto Reed, but 2B get 3 picks off of it. The 77, they do win their flank, the left. They just got 2 pockets left that they have to sweep out. Marty is the last one remaining here on this. And we also have Mansoor left remaining as well. 77th take the round 13-12. A very nice up down right there in the mid from 2 unexpected sources, that being Colossus and Dumbbell. Now Colossus, I believe this is his first tournament showing. Now he isn't doing the best, but he is getting kills and getting some impact on the field. And I believe that he could develop into becoming a decent mid-piece for the 77th. That being said, good up-down from Dumbbell and Colossus there. Very excellently played. 77th also destroyed the left. We're going to have to see how this next round goes out. Ed with this very, very early aggression. Huddy with the chamber. Huddy gets picked out by Lavach, though. They're down by 1. We're going to see how they answer this back. Bad swap. Lavach took advantage. They sweep the left. Even though the mid kind of lost, they sort of get some kills on the right as well. There's only 3 left. Lavach with the backstab onto Funky. Drum on the pick to Wings. The 2v1 successful. The trade from Ed is successful. Match point to the 77th. Now, whoever wins this match does go against the 2BIR, which could be considered a death sentence. The 2BIR called their last timeout. Now, 2BIR have been in this spot before. 14-12. I believe they also had this against the KO. I believe it was the same thing. But we're going to have to see how this timeout is going to work out for this team. Now, I do still believe in the 2BRR. The 77th have won a couple rounds in a row. 2BRR did get a round back, but then the 77th got 2 more in. Now, 2BRR is 2-0 with this stat line. That is true. When their backs are against the wall, they shine like diamonds. And we're going to have to see how this round is going to play out. My team was a victim. Yeah. 2BRR has came back before. They have twice. They are 2-0 in these situations. We're going to have to see how this goes. Ed with the early aggression right here on the right. Oh, but he gets singled out. Marty, no. This is a really bad situation. Drum, Monster gets the pick on the wings. Colossus gets the TK on Owenko. 2BIR get the picks. Marty gets the backstabs. Ed wasn't able to hold him. The 2BRR get a very convincing victory after their timeout call. 14-13. Now, need I remind you, situations like this, 2BRR, they're going to win. Nah, I'm not. They're not going to win. But that was a horrible miscommunication hold on Ed. Ed did not take advantage of that holding situation, and a backstab happened because of it. That's a bad situation. Ed definitely won't let that happen again, but it was a much needed victory that the 2BRR needed. Of course, we're going to have to wait and see how the next 2 rounds go. Still match point to the 77th. We're going to have to see how this goes. Ed with the oh, Marty goes way in there. But they don't up down him. As a matter of fact, the line play is screwed. 2BRR get 3 picks immediately. They sweep the rest of the flank. Ed is dead. They get the rest of the picks onto the connector. They 77th immediately get destroyed. They call an immediate timeout. It's now match point all. It is 14-14 after that really bad line play. Again, the 2BRR, they've done it again. I'm in shell shock. This is 3 games this season. And we're back to this. Match point all. 2BRR. If they do win, they do go against their A team to go against the 2B Bowl. If the 77th win, they get their chance against one of the most skilled rosters that's available in this group fighting league. If the 2BRR wins, this is going to be history. This is the first time in group fighting history that a B team of this caliber has won a playoff match. But we're going to have to see how it goes. We have 20 seconds left. The 77th are thinking that they got to tighten in their screws. No bad line play, no bad aggression plays. They have to tighten up. The 2BRR, they're probably wondering, we've been in this boat before. We're going to make sure we pass the Atlantic. They need this victory, and they've proven that they've got these victories before. It is now 14-all. And we're going to see how this round plays out. 2BRR do the early S keys away. Meanwhile, the 2B still remain nice on their line structure. Right here on the left flank section. They've done a full clockwork. No goal with the first pick, but immediately picks off. Funky gets the trade. There's 3 trades across the board. It's even 7v7. A lot of weird line play here. The bad TK from Mansoor, but Hoodie gets the pick. The 77th get 2 kills. It is a 4v6. They get the up down. It is 3 remaining. Lob, Daobao, and Huddy against this 6-man 77th group, consisting of Ed, Wenko, Lavach, Wings, Crazy, and Colossus. We're going to have to see how this goes. Now, the 2BRR, their walls, they're Oh, they go early aggressive. Wings, first pick onto Lob. Wenko with the TK onto Ed, but it doesn't matter. Dalbao immediately picked off. The punch, the lunch with the kill. It is 15-14, the 77th. Take it all. A very, very brutal loss for this 2BRR roster. A beautifully played match from the 77th.
Let's go 77th! I love the 77th! Hey, Wi-Fi, I just gave me a counter stream saying I love the 77th. We all love the 77th, boys. We all love the 77th. My go Ed dropping a 42 and 16. Toaster Coaster's also my go. He went negative, but he's my go, bro. Like, I love the 77th, bro. They're gonna beat who they play next? 2B.
They go against 2BIR.
They're gonna beat the 2BR and they're gonna beat the 2B, bro. I can see it. I got it visioned right now. That was a great match, Wi-Fi.
It was a very fantastic match. That is a very unfortunate way to lose the season. A very unfortunate loss to a dream of a season for these players. Now, of course, we're gonna have to get some interviews going in. Huddy will be the first one to come in to get interviewed, of course. And
Welcome,
well
Marty and Huddy. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, thank you for having me.
All right. Now, as always, thank you for showing up to RGL. Thank you for showing up to the post-game interview hosted by BMG, hosted by Home Depot. Tough loss. But need I remind you guys were a B team formed 2 hours before their first match. Now, you guys were building some momentum, but unfortunately the loss did occur. How do you guys feel? It was a tough loss. I'm just kind of curious how the vibes were going for this type of match for you guys.
Honestly, we knew going in that it was a keep the season alive or die kind of scenario, right? So we just kept it positive, kept the positive work ethic going and all that. So just it sucks, obviously, but I think a lot of us proved that we're not as bad as some would say. Even though some days some of us weren't that great, but we are happy to be part of the tournament and in the league, and we're overall happy with our performance. We ended off 500 at the end of the day, so we're just excited about that. So we can't wait for the next Melee comp, whether I do believe that's HDL or whatever. So we're all pretty excited for that.
That sounds fantastic. I can't wait to see you guys for HDL. Of course, I'd love to do some casting for HDL as well. Marty, you did play against Ed, former #1 player of NA. What was your expectations coming into it? Marty.
I just was thinking I'm gonna play my game. I'm gonna kite, and eventually we have to turn because we're gonna get caught. And my hope was I could take a prio, go for the 2, and it worked sometimes. Sometimes it did not.
It worked 50% of the time, all the time.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Amen.
Alec Baldwin.
Of course. And then hello to the 77th. As always, thank you for playing this match. It was a very great honor to be casting it. I'm going to ask you guys one question each because you guys were running both flanks. So I'd like to ask one question of both of y'all. I'll start with you, Ed. First and foremost, thank you for showing up to the post-game interview presented by BMG, presented by Home Depot.
So real.
The way that you played tonight, this aggressive edge play to kind of see if you could get an early lunge, early picks, it did succeed. Are you going to have this sort of same play style going into your next match? Like this kind of early flank play or early aggressive flank play to kind of force a kite? How are you going to try to push
I think we're playing who are we playing?
2BIR.
You will be going against 2BIR.
Ooh, I mean, those guys are kind of bums, right? So, I mean, maybe, dude, maybe. But I don't know. That's a tall order against a 2B. I think for me, it's like just finding a way to get impact. So a lot of that is like pushing. But if if 2B are fighting me more, then maybe I'll play more neutral.
Of course.
I think if our whole line pushes 2B,
Then you just win.
then it'll work. Yep,
True.
it'll
True.
just win.
All right, and then of course, Crazy, as always, thank you for participating. You were running a flank with Toaster, and of course, Toaster hasn't been playing a lot. He's been playing for the season, but outside of it, a little idle activity. How was it like these first couple rounds? Where like you guys were doing a lot of adjustments. How did that feel for you guys? Were you trying to be as comfortable as you could be, given the circumstances that you were handed?
I guess so. We were just asking and figure out what pace we wanted. Like Toaster always wanted to get a pick, but I didn't really want to. So we had to figure out how to balance that. Yeah,
Of
not
course.
The other
really.
thing too is
We just
sorry.
kind of knew what we were doing, really.
The other thing too is Chester's been playing with Toaster for all the season. Chester got elbow surgery, so he's out for a little bit.
First Holdfast
so-
player
damn.
with an
Right.
injury.
Yep.
Nope, second.
Oh,
To BRR Blazy.
oh yeah, I forgot. My bad.
IR.
Revisionism. I apologize.
He's on injured reserve, dude.
He is on injury reserve. Now, that's all the questions I had to ask for today. As always,
Wait, hold up. Did y'all glaze Lob?
I did.
Glaze
Dude,
that
Lob was
man
playing well,
even
dude.
more.
He was doing
Glaze that
great.
man even more.
Love was
Holy
playing well.
goat.
No Glow got a lot of
Holy
kills. That was
goat.
cool.
Maybe
Funky
maybe
talked shit and immediately died. That was really funny.
next generation of Holdfast
Monkey
players are
was
just
playing.
next
Funky.
generation of the new Holdfast group fighters are all Bannerlord rejects. So
Oh, that makes sense.
Again, thanks for
Dude, that game is
having
hard.
us for the interview. I'm gonna kindly
Mhm.
exit out and GG's to the 77th,
GGs,
and
GGs.
good luck in your next match.
thank you for your time, guys. And as always,
And thank
I'm
you for
going
your
to
casting.
2BR has come a long way, dude. GG's.
GG's.
GG.
And of course, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for the interviews, Ed, Crazy Marty, and Huddy. Thank you for those who watched the stream. I'm out.